welcome to Let's Talk Business podcast with Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Howard Johnson, the Vice President of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, also Directing Manager for 707 Management, LLC. We have a guest in the building with us. He's no guest to Tri-County, Bishop Lloyd Jernigan, and he's also one of our region vice presidents. Which region?
Region 1.
Region 1. Yeah. And what areas is?
I have Montgomery County, North Harris County, and Liberty County.
Okay, perfect. And your business, Bishop?
My business is PL Consultants LLC. We are a general contractor licensed in Louisiana for commercial and residential. And we operate in Texas as well and all along the Gulf Coast.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, while we got a split second, we here at the top of the show. I want to thank our supporting members, Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlighten Enterprises, the Linwood Group, and also Quality Precious Coating in supporting our Let's Talk Business podcast. Today is September the 3rd, 2021. It's a Friday in September, the first Friday in September. Wow. I remember January. It's like this year 2021 is almost in the books. Almost in the books. But yeah, so we got some information for you. You know, here at the Chambers, that's what we do. We provide information for our member firms. I'll actually be politically correct and read our mission statement. We are committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools for member firms to achieve entrepreneurial parity and economic prosperity in the region and internationally. And I was not reading it. So that's our goal for our member firms, to be able to have information to go out there and be successful. And that's pretty much what our podcast is about today. We're gonna touch on our alliance program. We're gonna touch on some upcoming events that we have. A really special deal that's coming up next week. We'll have the Belizean mayor of Belmopan, her Eminence Sharon Palacio. She's the new mayor of Belmopan in Belize. Belmopan is the capital city of Belize, for those that don't know. Belize is a country that's right down. It's in part of CARICOM. It sits out from Honduras, go through Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, is all right there. So, but at any rate, let's jump right into it. So, Bishop, we're talking about our Alliance program, and just to give you a little bit information about the Alliance program. Our Alliance program started off as actually a pilot program, and just meaning that we were testing it out to see, to navigate and see, what we could do, how we could do it, and make it to where it was beneficial to the people that were members of it.
Right.
And now we're out of the pilot stage, and it is a full-fledged program. And the Alliance program, it's a membership. It has an initial investment. The Alliance program is a specific member program that's dedicated to providing business services such as one-on-one consultations, certification support, technical paperwork support, and pertinent training per member companies in a particular industry. So two of the industries that we are focusing on for our Alliance program, the first industry is logistics, or the trucking industry. The second one is construction. But we're gonna talk about the Alliance program as a whole. But Bishop, you're a member of the Alliance program.
Yes. Construction Alliance.
And we're gonna talk about, I guess, the logistics side of it, and just some of the things that we've done with that Alliance program to help our member firms. The Alliance program focus on, for that member company in a particular industry, which includes, but it's not limited to, I just said some of them, transportation, trucking, construction services, and special trades, for the purpose of contract readiness and contract placement.
Right.
So we help those particular industries get ready for the contracts that are coming, and get the contracts or be placed on the contracts.
Yes.
The Alliance program is a 12-month program. It's renewed after every 12 months. What else?
Kind of like the objective of it. So one of the overall objective of the Alliance program is, you are much stronger when you group skill sets together, when you group small companies together.
Exactly.
We can then go in and maybe you have a particular trade, electrical, plumbing, you do floors. It may be difficult for you to go in and get the contract on your own, but up under the Alliance program, we group our skill sets together.
Exactly.
And we go in it as one combined unit to pull the contract down so everybody gets an opportunity to participate in their given area, as opposed to trying to do it on their own. And this will allow you over time to grow within the Alliance program to a point where you can have other trades up under you as an organization or as a company. You can build out and start putting a footprint down and get to a point where you can manage a full contract on your own. Yes.
And that's what I tell people, exactly what you said. I just tell them in a different way. I say, being a part of an Alliance program allows you to increase your capacity as a company.
Yes.
It allows you to sit back. It's not a mentorship program, but you can look at other companies. Say your company has 2 trucks and that company has 5. Well, you're in the Alliance program. You're not that company, but you can always look at that company and kind of see how they did it or how they're doing it. And, eventually your capacity should increase to 5. If you're working in an Alliance program with somebody who has 5 trucks, they're going to increase their capacity, so therefore your capacity should increase. Not all the time, but it should.
Yeah.
So, Bishop, you are a member of the Alliance program. How has the Alliance program benefited you?
Yes. So my particular positioning coming into the Alliance program was a little different. I was already a prime contractor doing contracting, and so I already had trades and other vendors that I have, other subcontractors up under me. But for a general person coming in, one of the biggest things that you gain is, like you said, the opportunity to kind of grow some capacity. You need to manage your skill sets. In other words, a lot of the organizations that may come to the Alliance, they don't have their books in order. They don't have someone that can manage that part. They may be struggling with insurance. They may be struggling with bonding. Well, up under our umbrella, you can get all of those things brought to the table for you. The other way that it helps you is, let's say there's a contract out there on the trucking side and they need 30 trucks and you only have 1 truck but you want to participate. If we can get 10 companies and make up the 30 trucks, we can then go in up under joint venture and all pull down that opportunity together. And maybe out of the contract, you can generate enough revenue to then buy you a 2nd truck. And then we get ready for the next contract. And the more contracts that we're able to pull down, everybody up under the Alliance gets to grow a little bit. And so that's the overall objective. And that's how I've looked at the program and how the program has benefited me. You've got to build good relationships. You have got to do solid performance on your jobs. You want to make sure you build a good, solid history. Because, like they said, bad news travels around the world 9 times before good news gets out of the bed.
Exactly.
So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we do it with the spirit of excellence in all things that we do.
Yep. And that says a lot right there, Bishop. The first statement that he laid out there was that he was already a prime contractor. So for those that don't know what a prime contractor is the contractor that works directly for that government entity or that particular entity that is funding the project. They manage any of the subcontractors and they're responsible for ensuring that the work is completed. So they're the ones that's responsible for that particular project. And as Bishop was saying, as you become a part of the Alliance program, your capacity should increase. And the ultimate goal is for you yourself to become one of those prime contractors.
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah, and that's the ultimate goal. And I mean, it's not something that has to happen. You can still benefit and make money not being a prime, but the ultimate goal, if you're running a business, you're on these contracts, you should want to become a prime.
That's
you
correct.
You should want to become a prime.
That is correct.
Okay, so Bishop, as let's talk a little bit about certifications, because we talked about the Alliance program helping with certifications. So one of the certifications that that we're going to focus on with the Alliance program is the DBE certification.
Yes.
And the DBE certification is one that it's needed to do business with Texas Department of Transportation.
Yes, that's correct.
So TxDOT is a DBE recognizing entity. So if you have a DBE certification, it doesn't guarantee the work, but it opens the door for you to be able to walk through the door and approach TxDOT. So you have your DBE certification.
Yes.
Did you have it? Well, were you assisted with getting your DBE?
Yes.
And who helped you?
Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, the Alliance program is how I was able to get my DBE. I hold most of the certifications.
Yeah, it's like
I have
8 of them.
DBE, Service Disabled Vet. I'm a Hub Zone. I'm a Texas Hub.
Yeah, he's got like
MBE,
7 out of 8. Did you get? And you're working on that at that 8th one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
What was
working
that?
on 8A.
Section 3.
No, I'm working on 8A.
8A.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
8A. Yeah.
yes. And so the DBE, like you were saying, is really, really important. Everybody should be familiar with the expansion project for 45 that the city is trying to do. That is a $7.2 billion project, projected $7.2 billion. 10% of that has to be spent with DBEs. That can't do the math. That's $720 million. That has to be spent with DBEs. And so even if you didn't get in and made just 1% of that, even if you just got $1 million of that, how much could you do in terms of building your capacity and ensuring some security around your family, building some generational wealth? I mean, how much could you use that for? And so it's going to be very, very beneficial to get in now. Not only that, the federal government is getting ready to release infrastructure dollars. Bridges, roads, highways, all of those things are going to be a part of those dollars. There's even some windmill stuff that's in there, wind farm. There are lots of different things that you'll be able to take advantage of, because any project that TxDOT does has to have, that's federal dollars, so it's got to have DBE participation. You can participate on those, okay? But we first got to get you certified and got to get you positioned so that you can get to the table.
Yeah, and with the DBE certification, I mean, a lot of people don't know it. There, like Bishop was talking about the other certifications that are out there. Like I said, it's about 8 of them. It may be some smaller ones that kind of fly under the radar, but I know it's 8 major ones, and Bishop has 7 of them right now. Is working on that 8th one. But some of them, like if you get DBE certified and your firm is certified in highway construction, if they're a certified firm in highway construction, they automatically get the SBE certification. The Small Business Enterprise certification will be automatically given to you if you're certified in highway construction. So it's just some things about these different certifications that if you don't know, you just won't know. And unfortunately, the unfortunate side is everyone doesn't give you all of the information about it.
That's correct.
Here at Tri-County, we give you the information, we walk you through the application process, and once we walk you through that process, we help you with submitting it, and we follow it all the way through.
Right.
All the way through.
That's right.
So that's, that's the biggest part of it. So the application and process, I'll be honest, it's not an easy process. It is not.
No, it's not.
It's not an easy process.
Not impossible, but it's not easy.
So, and it's not impossible because
we got it.
Yeah. So here's the question: was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely worth it. That there are. I mean, just think about how much money the federal government spends on roads, bridges, and highways. How much the city spends. How much the state spends, and all of those contracts have to have DBE participation. So there's lots of room for you to get in. Even if you don't do any of those things, right now, there are areas that you can get in and start building some capacity out, because there are needs out there all across the board.
Exactly. And also with the DBE, there's some general eligibility requirements. That means that you have to fit into this criteria to even go after the DBE certification.
That's right.
51% owned, managed, or controlled by one or more socially or economically disadvantaged individual.
Yes.
That's the first. So if you're considered quote unquote a minority by the state or by classification, then that's one of the qualifications. You must be a small business as defined by the Small Business Administration. So you need to check with the rules of the SBA to see if you're qualified or quantified as a small business.
Yes.
Your personal net worth limit can only be 1.32 million.
Yes.
That means you can't have over $1.32 million.
Yes.
So I'll stay at $1 million and still qualify. Your gross receipts must not exceed 23.98 million.
Yes.
That means you can't make 24 million and still qualify for this program.
Yes.
And that's averaged out over 3 years. So if you make 24 million this year and 5 million the next year, and then 10 million the next year, you still are okay.
Yes.
Your gross receipts must not exceed 56.42 million, but that's for a totally different certification. That's the ACDBE only. And then your firm must be organized as a for-profit business. So if you're a nonprofit, you cannot get a DBE certification.
Right. And there's some things that, there's some things outside of that the Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce and the Alliance will help you with, i.e. if you're a DBA, you have exposure to unlimited liability. You would want to at least, if
LLC.
you're not going, you have to be an LLC, an S Corp for tax purposes. And you don't want to do C Corp write-off because that's double taxation. The business is going to get taxed, and then whatever income you get from the business, it's going to be taxed. So that's double taxation. You can avoid that just by being an LLC. That'll allow you to have the legal protection.
Yeah, and if you don't understand some of the things that we're talking about here, then that's perfect. You need to become a member of the chamber. And that's what the Alliance program actually does. It helps you with this process. It helps you understand what we're doing. It also has you as a part of the process because we don't submit your paperwork for you. You bring the paperwork, we walk you through it, we help you fill it out, but you have to have the necessary documents. And if you're in business, you're an LLC, a lot of these documents you should already have. You shouldn't have to ask anyone for them. You should already have them. But if you're not a member of the chambers, or if you're not DBE certified and you are a member of the chambers and you want to do this, you want to join the Alliance program, give us a call, 832-875-3977, 832-875-3977. And while we're taking a quick break, I want to thank our supporting members again. Amico Federal Credit Union, great credit union, a member-owned credit firm. So the Amico Federal Credit Union is a great credit union to be a member of. Enlightened Enterprises, the Linwood Group, and Quality Precision Coatings. They support our Let's Talk Business podcast. If you'd like to be a sponsor, we accept all sponsorship. 832-875-3977. And I also got to thank GMT Radio. GMT Radio, they're the ones who host this podcast. They put us on. They get us on the air. They get the video that you see right here in front of us. They get us out there. So I thank GMT Radio, my boy Nice over here. Go to GMT Radio, www.gmtradio.com. Download the app. Anything you're doing, media, commercial, video. He got a studio. Man, this man has a state-of-the-art studio that he just set up. I'm telling you, if you guys are trying to do TV shows, you want to to shoot a movie, you can shoot a movie over there. He has everything that in the entertainment industry that you can think of right here at his fingertips. So check him out, gmtradio.com. So, but yeah, back into this Alliance program at DBE. It's exactly what it says it is. I mean, you are aligning yourself with other businesses, other like minds that are, in that industry. A lot of people think that, it's a competition if you're in the same business.
No.
It's not a competition.
You can't do it all.
McDonald's and Burger King are not in competition. They are two companies that are selling a similar product.
Yeah.
And there are, oh, so many people. We're just going to talk about the population in Houston. We're at 4 million plus. At 4 million plus, I mean, there are, I think, like 4,800 restaurants here in Houston. You have a pick of wherever you want to go. So it's not a competition. It's just, hey, I have to provide a service because I know at some point somebody's going to want to partake of this service.
Right.
So with the Alliance program, it's not a competition between this company and that company. It's actually a network of companies that will allow you to, like I say, increase your capacity. Instead of being a 5-truck company, you have aligned an alliance program with 20 trucks with this company, 12 trucks with that company, 18 trucks with that company. So now you go from being a 5-truck company to being a 50-truck company.
Yes.
And that increases the revenue. It increases the volume. And when revenue and volume are put together, then you can just say cha-ching, because that's money.
Yeah.
That's money coming in.
Yeah.
So that's money. So the word alliance is a formal agreement between two or more mutual people, two or more people for mutual support.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's a formal agreement between two or more for mutual support.
The objective is to group businesses together that complement one another. You may be a concrete a truck driver, and someone else may be dump truck, someone else could be dumpsters, but on a project you need all of those.
Yep.
And so when if you go in the door just with your even with your 5 trucks, if you go in the door alone with your 5 trucks, you're not as strong sitting at the table as someone walking in that has a complementary array of trucks and services that they can provide. Mm-hmm. It gives us a bigger footprint when we walk in the door. It allows them to look at us in a different way. And that's what we want you to do is you're not competing with another service provider who has the same thing that you are. You're complementing one another because there's going to be enough revenue on the table for everybody to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's what I tell people that all the time. It's enough money out there for everybody.
Oh yeah,
I'm not fighting against anybody. Bishop, you say you were in construction, right? Too?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a construction company as well, and me and Bishop work together.
Yes.
We're partnering on a big project now. We don't talk about it, but we're already working together. So it's no competition between us.
That's right.
It's actually he reached out. Hey, I need this. I was like, I can do it, and he brought me on, and it's been a benefit for me. So I'm glad that other people understand that business is not a competition, because had he was like, oh, I'm in competition with him over there, we would have never had that opportunity to connect and really go out and help some people do some things that they're trying to do. So just remember that if somebody does the same thing that you do, help them as much as you can, because as you're helping them, if you're further ahead than them, help them and bring them up, because as you bring them up, you'll start to move higher and higher.
That is correct.
And if you're beneath them, then look at what they're doing and learn from them.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity on either side of the spectrum, whether you're a business with more capacity or a business with less capacity.
That's correct.
And if you're listening to this now and you're not a member of the chamber, man, Tri-County is a great chamber to be a member of. There are a lot of other good chambers out there. We partner with some of them. We joint venture with some of them to do things around the city. But become a member of a chamber. But I'm biased. I love Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. And that doesn't mean that you have to be black to be a member, because the black in Tri-County refers to a culture and not a color.
That's correct.
And at Tri-County, we connect your business to the money. I mean, we know business, and our members make business happen. So construction industry, logistic industry, administrative, marketing, services and products. We help all of those different industries with business. At Tri-County, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Right.
You know, we also have a new, I guess, a new thing that we do here now. We are a hub certifying entity now.
That's correct.
Before we became a hub certifying entity, we would help our members with their application, submit it directly to Hub, and every application that we submitted was approved.
Yes.
We talked to one of the directors at Hub, and they were like, "Hey, you know, you guys certified. You guys sent in 200. It was either 200 or 300 applications last year." And every one you sent in was certified. Every one of them passed. All the paperwork was correct. There was no denials.
Right.
They were like, well, you're certifying 300 people a year. You can be a self-certifying entity. And just because we became a self-certifying entity, nothing's going to change.
Yes.
You're still going to have meet all the requirements.
Check off all the boxes.
You're still going to have to come in and do the legwork.
Yes.
So, but we are a self-certifying entity. So, you know, it's for me, the Chambers has just been a value add. I'm pro Chambers because I know what it's done for my life. I know what it's done for my business. I know. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Like if you want to start a business, if you're thinking about starting a business, the Chambers is the place to connect to. And I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here on the podcast. I'm telling you from what I personally experienced.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. You can join the Chambers and form your own opinion. But that's my personal opinion. It's just been a value add all the way around the spectrum for me. I mean, like we were talking earlier, the Belizean mayor of Belmopan will be in town next week with us, and we have a bunch of things to talk about. So we do trade missions to Belize. Actually, our president is the trade envoy between for Belize. So she does a lot of trade missions to Belize to show people the opportunity that's there, connect them to the businesses, help them set up businesses. So it's an exciting time right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's an exciting time. Don't be discouraged by what you may see on TV. Don't be discouraged by what the present may be, because there is so much opportunity out there. There are so many things coming down the pipeline right now. So if you're in business, that's what we talked about with the Alliance program. The first thing we mentioned was contract readiness. Just keep preparing. Keep preparing because it's coming. The opportunity might be on the other side of disappointment.
Yeah.
So you might have to be disappointed before you find that opportunity.
Yes.
And sometimes what we think is disappointment is actually the preparation for the next step for us.
Yes.
You know, some people lose their job and they're like, oh man, I lost my job. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It was like, well, what do you enjoy doing? Well, I like doing fitness training. Well, set up a web page and see what it does for you. Guy opened a gym, first gym, opened a second gym. He has 10 other trainers under him now, all because he lost his job. He lost his job that he'd been in for 10 years, and that was the only thing that he knew. But he loved training. He understood it. He had a degree in nutrition. So he was a certified nutritionist. So I'm just like, man.
It's all about finding your passion, finding a way to transition what you know from a knowledge base and transfer that into a business. But you're going to need to be guided through the process. It's an unknown to you when you're first starting. What Tri-County will give you is the opportunity to group with other business owners that are maybe going down the same road or have been down the same road that you're trying to go, and they can give you some advice that will help you in the long run. The only difference between winners and losers is winners never quit.
Yep.
That's the difference, you know. And what you want to do is, even the scripture teaches that, you know, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You know, you got to be in the know. And when you get around people that are talking about and having conversations around things that you are thinking, then that will spur you to look at even what you're dealing with in a different way.
Yeah,
you know, and you'll learn to be the person who sees the glass half full instead of half empty. That's going to come by being around positive people. You know, if you want to be a business owner, you need to get around other business owners that are having the same kind of conversations that you are talking about and addressing some of the same things that you're looking at. That's what Tri-County will give you through some of our meetings.
Yeah, and that's it made me laugh when I thought about that, because if you hanging around your friends that's got a job, they're going to always talk to you about a job, about what happened at work, about maybe how miserable work is. So, but the exposure gives you perspective. So things that you're exposed to can do one of three things. They can help dictate your perspective, they can help change your perspective, or they can help enhance your perspective. So, you know, exposure does exactly that. It gives you perspective. It gives you perspective.
And that's not to take away from those that have jobs. What I would say is this: if you have a job, you can build your business on the side, and then when your income outpaces what you're making on the job, then that's the opportunity to make that transition. That's your trigger to make that transition point. We recognize that you have, you know, electric, water, gas bill, children, mortgage to pay. And you want to maintain those things because your credit report is going to be important as you move forward. But on the side, while you're part of the chamber, we can be teaching you and helping you put in place everything you need to build the business that you want to have, and slowly start to increase that business, working with others that are part of the alliance. Slowly start to build that business out, and as you're building the business out, next thing you know, it's time for your trigger. You're 2 years down the road, and it's time to pull the trigger to move from getting a 3% raise, fighting about a 7% bonus, to actually making real money.
Exactly. So, man, let me be politically correct and state that I am not bashing people who have jobs. We
all had them at one time.
Yeah, for me, I was unemployable. I could not be someone's employee. And that was just me. And I tell people all the time, and it's a simple process. You take 60 seconds and you double that, you know, and you take 60 minutes. And then you take 60 minutes times 2. That's 2 hours. You take 2 hours out of the day and you work on the business that you want. I promise you, if you take 2 hours out of the day and work on the business you want, it's going to work out for you. Your lunch break is an hour. The time it takes some people to get ready is 2 hours. So the time it takes you to go from waking up out the bed to ready to walk out of the door to a really nice event is all the time that it will take you to work on your business, and I promise you it will benefit you.
You know, the one thing I would say is this, that each of us have the same 24 hours in a day.
Oh, man.
Each of us do. It's all about how you spend your time. You know, what you spend your time doing, what you spend your time conversating about, who you spend your time around. You want to get to a point where you're spending your time in a productive manner, spending your time around productive people that are going somewhere or trying to go somewhere. They are going to be the ones that are going to help you get the ideas for you to keep moving forward, such as what we have with the Alliance and with the Chamber. You're going to be around people that are positive, that are fighting through. I'm not telling you that everybody is a millionaire, a part of the organization, but what I am telling you is they're working toward it. You know, and anything that you work hard toward and have a passion for, you're going to achieve it. And we're here to help one another get to that point.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm just going to give you some numbers. And like I said earlier, exposure equals perspective. It just depends on what part of the perspective. So here's an average. The average American watches TV 4 hours a day. That's just on average. I'm not talking about like if you're a big movie buff or a binge watcher. So just cut it down to 2. Cut it down to 2 hours. There's your 2 hours right there. And if you want to get like really crazy and wild, cut out TV for a little while. Cut out TV for 30 days and put that time that you watch TV. Now, I'm not even saying the 4 hours.
Right.
Just the time you spend watching TV. Put that into working on the business that you want.
Right.
And see the result that you get. I'm not saying I didn't say and see what happens. I said see the result that you get. So that means you will have results. If you take that TV time and cut it out and focus on the business, you're gonna get results.
Yes.
So that's not the question. The question is where the results will be.
Yes.
So, I just like to encourage people. I like to encourage you with the information. And like I said, I like to expose you to things that will change how you look at stuff. So, no pun intended, but exposure equals perspective. I like to expose you to things to change how you look at stuff. I mean, your perspective is how you look at stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's
Yes.
I wasn't trying to play on words there, but that's exactly what happened. So,
so there's some simple things that we can give you just right now that'll kind of help you get started with the process, which I think is key. One is, if you're thinking about becoming a beautician, why not visit some beauty salons, take a look around, see how they're set up, start looking at, what the cost would be to set up a beauty salon. How many chairs do you want? Okay, how many sinks do you want? How do you want it laid out? Where do you want to position that? Find out how much the rent is for those areas. Come up with a business name. So there are some simple things that you can do just on your own. Doesn't take a whole lot of time, but just in your general community of people that you talk to on a regular basis. Now I know just about most of all the ladies go and get their hair done, get their nails done. Start talking to the people that are working in those shops, getting some general idea of what are the challenges that you face, while you're doing this work. What is the challenge that as an owner you face? Then you will start to do what Howard is saying. You'll start to gather and build a perspective about, if I want this beauty salon, this is what's going to be required. These are some roadblocks that are there. These are some ways to get around those roadblocks. And you start building out a business plan to start walking yourself toward where you want to go. Guess what? All of those things that I just named for you are things that we can help you through the chamber to achieve.
Yep.
Okay, and that'll get you going down the road in the direction that you want to go in a positive manner.
I totally agree. I 100% agree. And another thing that's really simple, it's called Google. And the crazy ironic thing about Google is in the 80s we had to go to a place called a library to do research to find out these things. But now, right at your fingertips, on that cell phone, on the tablet, even at a computer, you can boom, hit Google and say, what's the average beauty salon per mile in this area? And it'll tell you how many are there. You can say, what's the average income of a beautician in Southwest Houston? Boom, it's going to populate the answers. So you can get specific with your search and find out anything. Okay, we'll go to trucking. How many trucking companies are located in this particular zip code? What's the average income? And it's crazy, but the income, Uncle Sam's, that information when you file your taxes, whether you're LLC, corporation, whatever it is, that's public information. And it's publicized. Like you can Google. Like when I Google my company, I found this out because I Googled myself. I Googled my company. It came up and it said, oh yeah, 707 Management LLC. This is the address. Had my logo and everything on there. This company's revenue is this amount per year. And all that information is public information, and it'll be right there on Google. So and with the chambers, there are some small things that you won't know as a business. Like for me, when I first started my business, I had a at 707llc.com. But then as I got started using it, it was harder for me to use, so I let it go, and I ended up having a 707 at yahoo.com. So those are little things. This is a big nugget right here. If you have a business, your business email address should be whatever your company name at whatever your company's name.com.
Yes.
Not Gmail, not 707, not Yahoo, not AOL. Yes. So if your company is Radio Inc., it should say bob@radioinc.com. Yes. So if you're a business and you're in business and you're doing business, I don't care if it's DBA or whatever, when you go to a bank and the bank say, okay, well, give me your email address, and your email address said bob@yahoo.com or bobradio@yahoo.com, no good. Yes. No good. So that's just a little nugget. I mean, but this is the type of information that we provide, access to capital, yes. Certification workshops, technical assistance, coaching and mentoring, marketing and procurement, and we also have exclusive chamber events. So yes. When you become a member of the chambers, like I said, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We're going to look out for you. We're going to make sure if you're going to do the legwork to become successful, we're going to be right there by your side, helping you become successful as well.
One of the things that we want to touch on real quick is branding as well.
Oh, yeah.
How you want your business to be perceived, how you want people to look at your business. Your brand, how do you want your brand to be represented? That's in your control. And so if you're going into the bank to get a loan, it's probably not a good idea to go in and, slippers and because you're not going to be perceived as serious, even though you got a good product. Mm-hmm. They will not receive you as being serious because your branding doesn't match what you're saying your product can deliver. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we want to help you with is, whatever your product is, whatever service you're providing, we want to make sure that when you go in, that not only is your paperwork in order, but that from a branding standpoint, when you go and present yourself or you make a case for getting a loan or you make a case for going after a contract, you are astute, you are aware, you are ready to deal with business because, yes. Sometimes that first impression might be the only impression that the person gets mm-hmm. of you. And then even your paperwork, when you're presenting your documentation, you want to make sure you don't have, obvious misspelled words in there. Mm-hmm. Because the paperwork, many cases, is going to precede you when you start in your response for the solicitation. They don't know you. They're only going to be able to judge you based on what they're reading and what they see in front of them.
The first thing they're going to say is, this person can't even type on the computer. They didn't even have enough sense to use the spell check.
Yeah.
They didn't have to know how to spell it, but they all they had to do was know how to hit spell check to
yes.
double check it before they sent it.
Yes. And there are things that you, like I said, each of us are coming to the table with different skill sets. Different things that we've been blessed to do. Some have gone on to college, some have advanced degrees, some have worked in industry for years. They bring all of that knowledge and experience to the table for the benefit of everybody that's a part of the chamber. Mm-hmm. And that's where you'll really get a lot of mileage out of, in area that you have absolutely no knowledge in. Finance, you have no real knowledge in that area. But you're talking to people that have worked as a CFO, worked as an accounting manager, can help you set up your books, can talk to you about a business plan, what should be in the business plan, mm-hmm. the benefits of the business plan. The business plan is a roadmap.
Oh, yeah.
If you're talking about doing something and you don't have a business plan, you don't really have goals, you got ideas. Because mm-hmm. goals are written down in some form or another. Mm-hmm. And so that's all a business plan is. It's a roadmap to get you from point A to point B. It tells the person where you're trying to go and how you plan to get there. Yep. Okay? And those are things that we all need in our life.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah, most definitely. So, to kind of piggyback on that, it was, a guy asked me the other day, he was like, man, how are you doing? Good. You're doing, everything's good. Man, how do you make a lot of money? I said, well, what do you mean? It was like, well, I want to start a business, but I want to start a business where I can make a bunch of money. I said, well, you're going about it the wrong way already. I was like, find something you like doing. Find something that you do well. Yes. Not something you like doing. Find something you do well. Yes. And what you do well, put it out there as a service. Yes. Put it out there either as a product, as a good, or as a service. Mm-hmm. And that will generate you money.
Yes. Yes.
That will generate you money. Find something that you love doing, mm-hmm. that you enjoy doing, mm-hmm. and learn how to do it. Take the time to build yourself up personally. Take the time to pour into yourself. Take the time for self-education, and learn to become a master at that what you love to do, and that will make you a lot of money.
Right, and build good relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Good relationships. Look, the reason you go to the barbershop that you go to is not because they're the best in town, but you've got a good relationship with the people that are there. I mean, you'll drive 50 miles to go to John to cut your hair because you like John. You just like being around John. You like having conversation with John. And that's what it's all about. People will come from all over to get your product or service if you build a good relationship with them. I have people that I do business with. I've never met them. I've never met them. But we do business together, and we've had a good business relationship. We watch out for one another. And like I said, you can build those kinds of relationships. People do it every day. Have you ever met the owner of Google?
No.
But you use their product every day.
Every day.
Okay? And that's what we're talking about is, making sure that we, number one, have a good product or a good service to deliver to the marketplace. And then make sure we service our customers. Make sure that they know that they are number one, that they matter to us. And when that takes place, they're going to bring other people to the table to buy your products or services. They will be your greatest salespeople for you. Okay? You don't even have to go out and get a sales force. They'll do all the selling for you. And those are the kinds of things we want to make sure that we do with the Alliance. When people start to talk about the Alliance and the benefits of the Alliance, you will be one of our greatest salesmen because you will be a successful client of the Alliance.
Yep, and success sells.
Yes.
It sells.
Yes.
And just real quick to go back to what he was saying about, when you get ready to go into the banks or when you become a member of the chambers and you're rubbing elbows with the people who are, who have been CFOs or CEOs of large corporations. We also have members and member firms, just like I said earlier, Amico Federal Credit Union. That's a financial institution. Lift Fund. We partner with Lift Fund. Wood Forest National Bank. We partner with Wood Forest National Bank. So we have financial institutions that are member firms in the chamber. So this allows you access to that network of people. You say, hey, you call Lift Fund. Lift Fund will help you write a business plan.
Yes.
If you come to Lift Fund, whether you use their product or not, they're a macro lender, but they're unconventional. So they do collateral loans. They do other things that if you get denied, where a normal bank may deny you, you go into Lift Fund and they may say, okay, well, you have a car that's paid off here and you have a company vehicle that's paid off there. Well, we can use those for collateral. We'll loan you this amount of money based off those being the collateral for the loan. And I mean, it's just, I took a loan from Lift Fund, and I don't even think I used collateral for that loan.
Yes.
And it was a 0% interest rate.
Yes.
I think it was like $10,000 or something like that. I just took the loan because I could get it.
Yes.
But I mean, those are the type of resources that you get when you tap into a network.
Yes.
And like I said, there are a lot of good chambers out there. There are a lot of good networks. Get involved, become a member of the chamber, become a member of a chamber. Definitely Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. You can look us up. You can see what we've done, what we're doing. We've been here for 16 years plus. So, I mean, like I said, there are a lot of good chambers out there. Get involved. This Friday, September the 3rd was a Good Friday.
Yes.
It's not the actual Good Friday, but it was a Good Friday. Again, I'm your host, Howard Johnson. Let's Talk Business podcast. I'm the Vice President of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, also the managing member of 707 Management, LLC. We had a great guest today. I always love to get together with Bishop when we're not sitting in meetings about plans and stuff like that, because we just get to sit down and talk. I get to be exposed to something different, and it always changes my perspective. I always learn something from this gentleman. So, Bishop, tell them how they can reach you again. Tell them your name and how they can reach you again.
My company is PL Consultants LLC. We have a website, www.plconsultantsllc.com. My number is 832-212-1620. I am the CFO and managing member of PL Consultant. We are a general contractor, as I shared earlier. We work in all sectors, both commercial and federal sectors. And we look forward to hearing from you soon.
What's your email address, Bishop?
It's LJERNIGAN at plconsultantsllc.com.
I just did that to be facetious. Yeah, and I'm Howard Johnson, 707 Management, 281-726-1028. My email address is howard@707llc.com. I am a general contractor, project manager in construction. I do residential, single family, multifamily, commercial, K through 12, university, hospital, pretty much anything construction. Give me a call. It's free to talk to me. This has been our podcast. Again, we want to thank GMT Radio, www.gmtradio.com. Really, people, I hope you learned something today.
Right.
I really hope you learned something today. I hope I exposed you to something that changes your perspective. Keep plugging into it. Last thing I want to leave you, that 2 hours I said plug into your own business. Just take some time and think about it. Write it down on a piece of paper, or go back to some stuff that you've written down in the past and just revisit it. Maybe you forgot about some of the goals you made, or you can pat yourself on the back because you've accomplished some of the things that you wrote down and you didn't even realize that you had accomplished them. So just take some time and pour into yourself. Again, next week the Belizean mayor of Belmopan will be here. Her Eminence Sharon Palacio.
Yes.
This will be, it's great for the chambers. And we'll see you again next Friday, September the 10th, with our Let's Talk Business podcast. Signing off.